Well, good morning. For starting off today with something a little bit different, I've been having a few difficulties making cuts on my rigid table saw. Now, the specific model I have, you've seen in prior videos, has the webbing cast iron tables. It's really a kind of a contractor saw. They even classify it as a 10-inch contractor series, but it had the wider fence like a cabinet maker saw. Hence, I bought it. The specific model number is a TS3612, right? And one of the things I noticed is the blade, when I would run a piece through, was you could hear it catching on the rear of the blade, which told me that the blade itself is cocked somewhat compared to the miter slots. Now, the fence, when I put this all together with my friend Dave, we had checked the fence, and the fence is dead on. We used some machinist tools of his, and there is less than 1/1000th of an inch variance across the entire length of the rip fence. But I never messed with the actual blade setup. Checking it the way they tell you in the manual is kind of the standard, where, I hope you can see this, you make a mark on one of the teeth, you measure from the miter slot to that tooth, and then you flip it to the back and measure. I don't know if you can hear that, but it just grazes in the back and misses in the front. And repeated measurements, and I've used some dial calipers to check this, show that I've got about a point, somewhere between a 0.3 and 0.4 millimeter variation, and I think it's a little bit more, because I had some that measured as high as 0.8 variation front to back. And across the 8-ish inches, that's about a half a millimeter. That's actually a lot. And you can hear it. Like I said, you can hear it when you run stuff through where it'll cut, and then as the lead part of your piece gets to the rear of the blade, you can hear it go zing. That is not good enough. So following the directions in the manual, and you have to undo 6 bolts on the trunnion system. And unlike most of them where you have to get in there and give it a love tap with a hammer, there's a micro adjust lever, which I'll cut to and show you. That micro adjust lever drifts the back a little bit. So what I'm going to do though is I need a better way to measure, and thinking about it and then looking around online kind of verified what I'm thinking. If you can increase the distance this way that you're measuring across, you increase the error measurement, which is what I want. So what I'm going to do is clamp a straight edge here to my blade in the front and in the back, and then remeasure several times the distance between the miter slot and the straight edge, which is now my measuring line. To get a more accurate measurement, I may end up laying the straight edge on its side on the table and then measuring between the edge of the miter slot and that edge of the straight edge. If I can get a repeatable measurement, I'll use this new method as I correct it. But like I said, there's 6 bolts, and I'll take you through that process. But you really do want to do this tune-up. I never did it because it was close enough. But it's starting to bug me now, and it's affecting some of the cuts, particularly when I'm doing thin strips, and I'm a little worried about kickback. So I figured now's the time to do it before I damage or warp the blade or put undue strain on something and end up with more stuff out of true. Okay, I hope you can see this. Here's how I'm doing the measurement. I've laid the straight edge on its side and make sure I'm holding it pretty tightly against the blade, but not tight enough to deflect the blade. Then I've taken my combination square and placed it here so that the machined edge, which is really all I care about, is tight against this wall of the miter slot. I then come in here, and I'm using a pair of digital calipers to take a measurement, and I'm going to repeat the measurement several times. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this because of the contrast. I've got some sun coming in the window here. But after measuring it about 6 or 7 times at slightly different spots, I always hit 50.2 millimeters every time. and I've moved the square around, brought it back in, and there we got a 50.4. Hold it the same. Going down against the table, 50.3. Yeah. The trick is I want my miter square to sit as straight up and down as I can. So let me try this again. This is easier when I'm not trying to film. .2, about 50.2 to 50.3 millimeters. Now I'm going to duplicate this measurement in the front. Okay, I'm now standing at the front side of the table saw. You can see my square here. Putting the machined edge of the combination square against the edge of the slot, holding it about finger tight, and making sure my framing square is tight against the blade. I'll now hold this all in place and repeat the measurements. Let's see what I get. Boy, this is difficult to do with this camera in the way. 51.6, 51.5, 51.5, 51.5. So I'm getting about 51.5. Now you may wonder, is the framing square itself perfect down the edge? Do I have a slanted edge problem? The answer is it has to be straight and true, or otherwise it doesn't work as a square. But I have actually measured it with the calipers, and there is no measurable difference in the thickness all across its length, at least not on these calipers. And this is 1/10 of a millimeter accuracy. So if I'm getting 51.5 here and I'm getting 50.2, that means I've got a 1.2 to 1.3 millimeter variation. Now that doesn't seem like a lot. A millimeter is pretty small, but across, what is this, about a 28-inch span? That's a lot. That's way too much. So I've got to adjust the saw. I need to shift the back end of the blade that way. Is the way the micro adjusting works on this. So I'll show you where those bolts are next. I'm going to go ahead and loosen everything up. Okay, here we are underneath the front of the saw. We've got, this is the lever that raises and lowers it, and this is the angle indicator curve slot at the front of the saw. This is a lock lever which locks the tilt. Normally you've got it up like this so you can run the tilt back and forth, and then when you get your angle set, you lock it down. Inside of there is one of the 3 bolts heads that on the front that you have to take out. That guy right there. The other 2 you reach from the back of the saw by reaching through. It's a bit of a pain, but the instructions in the manual will show you this, but this is how you get to the front one, and it's not too bad. The ones in the other 2 here on the front are a little bit harder to reach, and I don't know if I can get the camera in there to show you where they are, but they'll be obvious on your saw. The ones on the back, I'll show you next. Okay, here at the back of the saw, peering over the top of the motor, I've undone the belt from the drive pulley on the motor, just to have easier access to everything. I've loosened the bolts in the front to where I can move them with my finger. And here are the 3 bolts. There's this one on the micro adjust lever, and then these 2 that hold the base of the trunnion. Those are the 3 in the back that have to be loosened. Now that micro adjust lever actually has quite a bit of motion to it. I'm going to horse it around here, but with it loose on the bolts, all right, if I move that lever, watch the distance between the blade, there we go, watch the distance between the blade and the straight edge. That micro adjust actually moves it around quite a bit. I'm just going to move the micro adjust lever now, and you'll see how much that motor shifts around here. Let me back out. You can see it. So that's your fine adjust, and that's one nice thing about this saw is you can re-true it up. What I'll do is once I get it to where it's nice and parallel, I will tighten the 2 bolts on the outside of the trunnion assembly. I won't mess with the micro adjust. Then I'll recheck to make sure I haven't shifted anything by tightening up that trunnion assembly. And as long as it looks true on my measurements, then I'll come back and I will tighten this up and tighten the two front ones on the base of the trunnion in the front. Okay, that was a hard-won battle, reaching around underneath, tightening and loosening the bolts. That was a 2-hour ordeal in frustration, but it's done. Finally got it tweaked to where it's within about 0.1 millimeter, maybe 0.15 millimeter between front and back. There is a good deal of variation in the blade. Okay, that wobbles as much as 0.2 or 0.3 millimeters, maybe even a little more. I don't know if that's just the nature of the blade or if I kind of cooked it a little bit or warped it because I was running it through with it binding so much, or it was off by like 1.5 millimeters from the entire table. 1.5 millimeters front to back, the entire table, not 1.5 millimeters here. But here it was off about 0.6 to 0.8, somewhere in there, where it was pinching at the back. I've got the new got the new measurements here. What I get when I measure is about 50 to 50.1, depending on where I am on the blade. Right, rotate the blade around a little bit, put it back, recheck your measurement. So I'm about 0.1 wider at the back. I'm okay with that because it means I'm not binding. So if I cut the stock at the front and then I get a little bit of extra, a skosh of a gap here, that's good. What I had before where it was cocked inward, that was bad. That was asking for kickback and burn, and that's what I was getting, was burn. This was just going to be especially helpful when I'm running stuff up against the fence and I'm cutting real thin stock, or something where I've got a sacrificial fence on here and I'm like right over top of the blade. I don't want that thing moving. The technique that worked for me, after farting around, allow about 2 hours. It's taken me almost 2.5 hours almost to get this dialed in. It was such a pain, which is why I didn't do it when I first set up the table saw. But loosen all of the bolts, right? The 3 here in the back and the 3 in the front to where they're almost rattly, right? You can move them with your finger, but you tighten them back up just a little bit. Then you gank around with the micro adjust lever, right, that you saw. Get it dialed in as close as you can. Tighten the front middle one, the one that you can access up in there, right, through the lock lever opening. Double check, because the act of tightening that, when you put torque on anything, one of the things you have to remember though is when you're cranking on a bolt, you're not just putting rotary force on it, you're pushing the trunnion assembly in the direction this way. Like, so if I rotate here to tighten, I'm also pushing the trunnion this way, or exerting a force on it. There's not much you can do because you can't get a hand in there to counteract it on the front. So you've just got to deal with that. And actually, you can't even get to it with a socket, which is one complaint I have about the design of this table saw. You actually have to use a box end wrench. So I got in there, got it tightened, double checked all my measurements. Everything was spot on at just about 50. Just that's the way it happened to work out, is 50 millimeters with the way I'm set up here. So got that one in, and then double checked, everything looked good. So then I gave these about 1/8 of a turn here in the back, the 2 outer trunnion mounts in the back. Double checked. That kind of pulled me out a little bit and made it wide here, like excessively gapped this way at the back. So I loosened those back up, played around with a knob, snugged the knob down a little bit, maybe 1/8 of a turn, maybe not even that, 1/10 of a turn. Then double checked everything. It was still holding at the front, but it had scoshed in maybe 0.2 millimeters. So I then tightened the outer 2 trunnions at the front, and I used the ratchet for those. You can see the scars from trying to reach. The one on this back corner sucks. This could have been a lot easier if they'd put a frickin' access panel in the side, but instead, I'm going to tilt you on your side here. You got to reach all the way back in there. So I tore myself up on the pulleys, on parts of the blade, bashed my knuckles against the side a couple times. It was a lot of fun. But anyway, I tightened those up, and in the act of tightening those up, the lateral force I put on them, tightening them, actually pulled it back out. So I was about 50 millimeters. Double checked here, I was out. So I loosened these again, but I was only out about 0.4, 0.5 millimeters. So I played around with the lever, snugged it down a bit on the lever knob, on the lever bolt, excuse me. Played around, got it close, checked the front again, then tightened these outer two trunnion mounts, again, less than 1/8 of a turn each. And while I did it, had one hand on the wrench, and I pulled this way while applying force this way with my other hand. So as a result, I tried to counteract any lateral movement in the trunnion. That seemed to work, and so I did that, slowly tightened up, double checked the tightness on all the front ones, came back, tightened these up, and then holding the knob securely in place, I then tightened the bolt on the knob, well, again, holding this to make sure this didn't creep. Then when I check everything, I find out there is some wobble in the blade, like I said, maybe 0.2 to 0.4 millimeter. But the average is I'm getting about a 50.1 here in the back and a 50/49.9 in front. So it's probably like 49.95, which means I'm off by about 0.1 millimeter. 0.1 millimeter, 0.15 millimeter across this entire distance. I'm going to have to live with. I can't donate any more blood so, front to back, and I'm a little wide at the back. I'm okay with that. That's good. It means I'm not going to bind. Like I said, I get the fence right up there close, cutting thin stock. I do not want this bound up the way it was before, because that's asking to shoot a bullet of wood back at me. That was the technique that worked for me. I tried a bunch of different methods, went through what's in the book, and it didn't work that great. So I figured by pinning the middle one in the front, then getting these close, and pinning the two sides, and double checking, and then tightening these up in degrees while I played with that lever. That got it dialed in. So I hope I don't have to do this again for several years. If I do, I'm going to take a side grinder and I'm going to cut out a panel and then rig it up to where I can bolt the plate back in when I'm done, so I can get access to that, because you don't have much room, and I had to use a ratchet, and I can get about 1 or 2 clicks out of the ratchet each time. And the whole time you're banging on the blade that's still under there, you're banging on the trunnion assembly, you can't see what you're doing, and you're scraping your arm on the pulley assembly that's on the arbor. So not a great design there. Whoever designed this, you guys kind of suck. But it's tweaked, it's set, I'm happy with it. I'm going to run a test real quick and make sure that it doesn't move on me, it's not binding, and then I'm back on projects after some lunch. But yeah, set aside about an hour or two. Don't think you can do this quickly, at least on this model of saw. That's the main reason why I didn't do this when I first set the thing up. I said, good enough. I don't feel like fiddling with it, because I knew the adjustments on these could be a pain in the butt. But it's done, and that's what worked for me. So I hope that helps somebody, and I will see you again soon.